Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. If you're a procurement pro or running your own brand, you know the supply chain shifts incredibly fast. Today, we're diving straight into the 2026 playbook for sourcing eyewear in China. We're going to break down exactly how top-tier brands secure elite manufacturing, avoid those disastrous downstream traps, and really optimize their margins.
Get this, 70%. Yes, 70% of the world's eyewear frames are produced in China. That is a massive slice of the pie. So, what does this tell us right out of the gate? Well, finding a supplier in China isn't your problem. Your real challenge, the thing that literally separates wildly successful brands from struggling ones, is finding the right, highly specialized partner among the thousands that are out there.
Okay, so here's our strategic roadmap for today. We'll cover the 2026 sourcing landscape, check out China's eyewear manufacturing hubs, reveal our elite supplier roster, and finally look at mitigating downstream procurement risks and navigating customs and inspections.
Section 1, the 2026 sourcing landscape. From generalist to specialists.
Section 2, China's eyewear manufacturing hubs, the geographical map. Let's start with a major paradigm shift. The era of the do-it-all generalist factory, it's completely over. A factory pumping out cheap plastic sunglasses simply cannot make your luxury handmade acetate frames. You've got to match your product to a regional master. First stop on our map is the Heng'an cluster in Shenzhen. Now, this isn't just another manufacturing hub. This is the absolute global pinnacle of premium eyewear craftsmanship. When European luxury brands need high-end frames produced, this is exactly where they go. Just look at what Shenzhen brings to the table. We're talking about premium handmade acetate and really deep expertise in notoriously difficult materials like titanium. These guys use sophisticated CNC machinery right alongside multi-stage manual polishing. And yeah, sure, these capabilities mean your upfront costs are definitely going to be higher, but this level of hand-finished quality, that's your golden ticket to massive retail markups. Next up, we're shifting our focus a bit north to Wuhai in Wenzhou. I actually like to think of Wenzhou as the reliable workhorse of the eyewear industry. If Shenzhen is high-end luxury, Wenzhou is the absolute sweet spot for mid-market OEM and ODM manufacturing. Wenzhou is practically built from the ground up for established fashion brands that need strict predictability. They offer this incredible balance of price and performance. Factories here, like Reed Sun, for example, feature really robust R&D departments. We're talking about taking your rough sketches to technical drawings in just 48 hours. They integrate automated polishing for huge batch consistency, and they're intimately familiar with super strict European and North American standards, like ISO 12312-1. Then we hit the fast lane, the Duqiao and Linhai areas of Taizhou. You can kind of think of these factories as the short-order cooks of the industry. This is the fast fashion epicenter, a super high-volume, aggressively priced powerhouse that's custom-built for today's fast-paced e-commerce era. Honestly, if you're an Amazon or Shopify seller, Taizhou is almost definitely your go-to hub. Why? Well, because they specialize in polycarbonate and TR90 materials using fully automated injection molded lines. They can literally churn out tens of thousands of units a day. Plus, they offer rapid private labeling with stock-ready programs. That means you can react to TikTok viral trends with unmatched speed to market and absolutely rock-bottom landed costs. Section 3, the Elite Supplier Roster, 2026 Rankings. Now, we aren't just dropping random names here. We're actively matching specific buyer personas to their ideal supplier tier. So for premium luxury, Mike Optical down in Shenzhen offers Tier 1 quality with about 75 to 90-day lead times. Mid-market fashion brands, you should definitely target Reed Sun in Wenzhou at 45 to 60 days. High-volume e-commerce goes to Yingchong and Taizhou at 30 to 45 days. And if you're doing functional sports-focused eyewear, jamming over in Xiamen is your technical master, clocking in at 50 to 65 days. But beyond those standard tiers, you really need to know the niche specialists. Focused on ESG and the whole green transition, Wenzhou Success Eyewear offers GRS-certified bioacetates and recycled plastics. Need clinical-grade pure titanium that won't fade? You go to Shenzhen Kangchen for their specialized vacuum plating. And what if you're a startup just needing to test out some designs? Linhai Starry offers an incredible private label entry point with minimum order quantities as low as 50 pieces. That's a huge deal. Okay, I want to share a really powerful insider tactic with you. While most frame manufacturers can provide lenses, a place called Danyang is actually the global capital for lens production. So really savvy sourcers will buy their frames in Wenzhou and then ship them directly to a Denyang specialist, like Sunshine Optical, just for the fitting. Doing this can save you up to 15% on your total costs. How crazy is that? Section 4. Mitigating downstream procurement risks. The traps. All right, we need to talk about the high-stakes reality of procurement. A super low upfront price quote, it often conceals disastrous downstream risks. One of the absolute most common bait-and-switch traps involves material transparency. Some factories will quote you for handmade acetate, but what they actually use is acetate-injected plastic. Now, it looks similar on day one, for sure, but it completely lacks the durability and adjustability of genuine sheet-cut acetate. Always advise your buyers to demand a photo of the raw acetate sheets sitting in the factory, and crucially, ask for a cross-section photo of the temple just to verify that the metal wire core is actually inside. Then there's what I call the hinge factor. Listen, the hinge is the single most common failure point in eyewear, and a broken hinge, that destroys your brand reputation overnight. Low-quality suppliers will use cheap zinc that literally just snaps. High-quality ones, they use really durable Monel or nickel silver. Protect yourself by explicitly naming a reputable hinge brand, like the German brand OBE or the Italian brand Visotica, directly in your purchase order. So, to lock in that quality, deploy this simple 3-step actionable checklist during your very next request for quotation. Number 1, verify material transparency. Remember, ask for those cross-section photos. Number 2, check lab compliance. You absolutely need FDA registration for the US, CE for the EU, and drop ball test reports for lens impact resistance. And number 3, dictate your hinge brand right there in writing. Whatever you do, do not leave that up to the factory. Section 5, navigating customs and inspections, the final hurdles. Okay, so you've manufactured a great product. Now you need to verify the goods and legally cross borders. But first, let's clear up a really common buyer frustration. You might be wondering, why on earth are custom acetate minimum order quantities stubbornly sitting between 300 to 500 pieces? Well, it's because the raw material suppliers themselves, like Mazzucchelli, dictate high minimums just to buy custom color sheets. The factory physically has to buy enough raw material to produce hundreds of frames just to make it worth turning on the machines for your specific color. Now, here's a question that challenges a really long-held industry bias. Can you get true made-in-Italy luxury from a factory in China? The absolute, unequivocal answer is yes. The Hanggang cluster produces components and semi-finished frames that are so flawless they are completely indistinguishable from Italian luxury. In fact, many of those top Italian brands quietly source their components directly from Shenzhen anyway. So when your production is finally done, demand a final random inspection based exactly on the AQL 2.5 standard. Make sure your inspectors are actually checking hinge tension, lens clarity, and frame symmetry. Verify all those FDA or CE conformity documents are perfectly in order, and critically, double-check your specific local HS code, which is often 9004.10 for sunglasses, with your customs broker. You really want to do this to ensure you aren't hit with surprise anti-dumping duties or massive port delays. As we wrap this up, I want you to really ask yourself, are you simply hunting for a cheap factory? Or are you strategically partnering with a specialized master? Because the suppliers you choose this year will absolutely dictate your brand's survival next year. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the 2026 eyewear landscape. Keep optimizing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.